Okay, let's dig into a really common financial challenge. You see it a lot in service businesses, maybe especially IT support.
Right.
You go in, you fix a huge problem, maybe a server crash, could be a cybersecurity thing, and the client, they're thrilled, genuinely happy.
Mm-hmm.
You send the invoice, and then, well, then it's radio silence. You basically just vanish off their radar.
Exactly. It's that classic out of sight, out of mind problem.
Uh-huh.
And all that goodwill you built up, all that proof you know your stuff, it just evaporates. Doesn't turn into referrals, doesn't turn into more high-value work.
It's a real paradox, isn't it? The better you are at fixing the immediate fire, the less they think about you until the next one flares up.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually did a deep dive recently
Yeah.
looking at this playbook developed for an IT support owner who's right in the thick of this. They knew they had happy customers, but no real scalable way to turn that happiness into, predictable income.
So, our mission today is really to unpack that playbook. We want to show you how to set up a system, an automated one, that takes that one-time fix and turns it into a long-term fan, someone who actually advocates for you.
We're going to break down 5 key roadblocks, the things that stop happy clients from becoming, referral engines. And crucially, show how tools like Make.com, Notion, and OpenAI can build this engine without drowning you in manual work or sounding, robotic.
Yeah, nobody wants generic.
No, and the owner, when we first talked, was very clear.
Yeah.
Their biggest issue was the lack of a reliable process. Every time they tried consistent follow-up, it just kind of fizzled out.
Okay.
So we boiled it down to 5 main pain points. First, that inconsistent follow-up after the job's done. Second, no actual formal referral system. Third, no easy way to see who the really happy clients even were. Fourth, communication was always reactive, always problem-driven.
And the fifth, let me guess.
The killer, manual processes, just way too time-consuming and impossible to scale.
Right. Let's start there, with those out-of-sight, out-of-mind traps. Because they really stem from how IT support actually works day to day. You're always in emergency mode, right? Constantly firefighting. So those important but maybe not urgent tasks like marketing, like thoughtful follow-up, they just get shoved aside every single time.
That's it, exactly. The minute an urgent ticket lands, everything else grinds to a halt. The owner admitted, the second that invoice went out, they were already dropping the ball on the high-value stuff.
Okay, so how did this actually play out? What were the specific symptoms blocking growth?
Well, the first one is the most obvious. No consistent follow-up. Plain and simple. They were basically just hoping the client would remember them 6 months down the line.
Hope is not a strategy.
Definitely not. And tied right into that was the second point. Lack of a formal referral system. I mean, sure, they might occasionally ask for a referral, maybe shoot off a quick email, but there's no defined process, no tracking, no rewarding clients who sent business their way. It was completely random, hit or miss.
And the third one, the visibility gap. That's where it gets really inefficient, isn't it? You mentioned the owner was trying to remember happy clients.
Yeah, literally trying to recall, who was that client last month? They seemed pretty happy, didn't they? They were basing referral asks purely on memory, which, as a way to drive growth, is terrible.
Yeah.
Gut feeling just doesn't scale.
No kidding. Leads right into the fourth point, I imagine. Being purely reactive.
Directly. Communication only happened when there was a problem. You call because something's broken. So you're always the emergency fixer, never the strategic partner who's top of mind for adding value proactively, like sending out tips or health checks.
Okay, so we've got inconsistency, no structure, flying blind, and only showing up when things are on fire. What was that final roadblock again? The one that made fixing the others so hard?
Manual overload. Simple as that. Every attempt they made to fix things, trying to keep spreadsheets updated, logging follow-ups in their ticketing system by hand, crafting individual emails, it was just so much work, it always stalled.
How much work are we talking?
The owner figured they were losing maybe a full day every month just trying to stay organized with this stuff.
Yeah.
And a month later, it was all out of date anyway, just completely unsustainable.
Okay, so let's pivot to the solutions. Starting with the quick wins, right? Getting that consistency automated so the owner isn't tearing their hair out with manual tasks. This tackles points 1 and 5, the inconsistency and the manual burden.
Exactly. The very first step, the mandate, was keep it simple. Automate those personalized follow-ups. And the tool stack wasn't super complex. Make.com was the core piece that's the automation engine, the orchestrator.
Right, Make.com, formerly Integramap.
Yeah. And it connects to their existing project management tool, whatever they were using, and then feeds all that data into a central place.
And that central place, the recommendation was Notion. Tell us a bit about why Notion for people who might not know it well.
Sure. Think of Notion as like a super flexible command center. or a database. It's where you can bring together all these different pieces of information, job completion dates, client feedback, later on sentiment analysis. It all lives together in Notion. And having that central hub is, well, it's crucial. Non-negotiable, really, for this whole system.
Got it. Centralization is key. So walk us through the workflow. How does it actually work?
Okay, so a job gets marked complete in their project tool. Make.com sees that status change. Then it waits, it waits about 2 weeks.
Why 2 weeks?
Gives the client time to actually live with the fix. Make sure the problem is really gone before you follow up. Then Make.com triggers a personalized email. High-touch feel, but automated.
Okay, hold on. Automated follow-up. That sounds like it could easily come across as generic, maybe even a bit spammy. Doesn't that risk damaging the trust you just built?
That's the absolute critical point. This isn't spam, it's smart automation. The email uses the owner's voice, their style, but the magic ingredient is data injection from Make.com. It references the specific engagement. It doesn't just say, hey, hope things are good. It says something like, hey, just checking in, hope that network latency issue we sorted out for you back on the 15th is still holding up and things are running faster.
Ah, okay. So it pulls details from the actual job log.
Exactly. That context makes it feel personal, relevant, not like some generic blast. And in your replies, they get logged straight back into that Notion database automatically. Keeps everything organized.
That context makes all the difference. Okay, let's talk about another part of that manual overload, getting testimonials. The consultant found clients said yes, but actually writing something was too much effort, right?
Yeah, huge friction point. People are busy. So the solution had to be low friction. The recommendation. Use OpenAI's GPT tech to basically draft the testimonial for the client.
Interesting. How does that work without being, fake?
So the client clicks a link, maybe in that follow-up email. It takes them to a super simple, like, 2-question form. How satisfied were you? What was the best part? Based on those quick answers, plus the info pulled from their project history, ticket details, problem description, how it was fixed, GPT drafts a short review.
And the client just approves it or edits it.
Exactly. They just need to give it a quick look, maybe tweak a word or two, and hit approve. Takes them maybe 60 seconds to 15 minutes staring at a blank page. You remove the biggest barrier, the writing effort.
That's clever. Minimal effort for them, maximum value for the business.
Right. And then to close the loop on manual work, they suggested using Apify.
Apify, that's for web scraping and monitoring.
Yeah, specialized tool. Set it up to automatically scan places like Google reviews or Yelp for any new testimonials mentioned in the company. When it finds one, bang, it updates the central Notion dashboard. No more spending hours manually checking review sites.
Wow. Okay, so you're saving tons of admin time and making it almost effortless for happy clients to provide social proof. That's definitely smart automation.
But just being consistent and reducing manual work isn't the whole picture. We need to get smarter, right? Use some intelligence to connect client satisfaction with strategic outreach.
Exactly. This is where we shift gears from just being efficient to being genuinely strategic.
Yeah.
Now we're tackling that visibility gap, pain point 3, and the lack of formalized referral incentives, which was pain point 2.
Okay.
Big picture. It's about using actual data, not just gut feelings, to figure out who to ask for a referral, when the perfect moment is, and maybe even what else you could offer them.
So how do you get that visibility? How do you measure sentiment reliably?
This is where AI really shines.
Yeah.
You integrate an OpenAI sentiment analysis module right into that Notion hub.
Okay.
And this system automatically scans and tags client feedback. Doesn't matter if it's an email reply to that follow-up, answers from a quick survey, even maybe transcribed notes from a phone call.
So it's reading the text and figuring out if the client is actually happy, neutral, or unhappy, even if they're being polite. Precisely. You know how sometimes a client says, yeah, the server fix was okay, but honestly, that printer issue is still driving me nuts. The system doesn't just see okay and mark it positive. It gets the nuance. It flags them accurately, maybe neutral, or even detractor.
It cuts through the politeness filter.
Exactly. The result is you get this visual dashboard in Notion, constantly updated. Green flags for your promoters, maybe yellow for neutrals, red for detractors.
And that's what lets you target the referral asks.
Bingo. You target the ask only when someone is clearly delighted when they're a definite promoter.
Yeah.
You hit them at that peak moment of satisfaction. You don't waste that valuable ask on someone who's just lukewarm.
That makes so much sense. No more guessing based on memory.
Right. And that intelligence directly fuels the formalized referral strategy. The system automatically generates that personalized thank you plus referral request email. But, and this is key, only after positive feedback is logged and flagged by the sentiment analysis, not before.
And the request itself needs something extra, right? Not just asking.
Absolutely critical. You must offer an incentive. This isn't a passive thing. Offer a discount on their next service, maybe a gift card, something tangible. It makes the request feel less like asking for a favor and more like a mutual exchange. The response rate is just so much higher.
Makes sense. Give to get.
Yeah. And they even layered on another smart technique for networking, using Appify again.
How so this time?
To carefully scrape LinkedIn connections for that promoter client.
Yeah.
The idea isn't mass outreach, it's identifying potential mutual connections, people you both know.
Ah, so you can ask for a warm introduction instead of just a general referral.
Exactly. It shifts the whole dynamic. You're asking your happy client, hey, I see you're connected to Jane Doe at Acme Corp. They look like a great fit for us. Would you be open to making an introduction? It's specific, targeted, and way more effective than a vague, know anyone who needs IT help. Conversion rates go way up.
That's much more strategic. Okay, that covers consistency, visibility, and referrals. What about the final piece? Shifting from being reactive to proactive.
This is maybe the most important shift in perception for the client. Moving from being the break-fix guys to being the ongoing, proactive partner. This tackles pain point 4, reactive communication.
You want them thinking of you before the crisis hits.
Precisely. You need to be providing value consistently in the background, not just when there's smoke coming from the server room. This is where automation really steps into marketing and relationship building.
So how do you automate proactive value?
The main tool here is, again, OpenAI's GPT, but used differently. Use it to help design educational, personalized email sequences. Think practical tips on new security threats, maybe reminders about software updates tailored to their specific setup.
Personalized based on their past issues.
Yes, that's the key. Make.com then automatically enrolls clients into the relevant sequences. So if a client had, say, a ransomware scare 6 months ago, they automatically get put into a sequence focused on advanced ransomware prevention tactics. It shows you remember their specific situation and you're still looking out for them.
That feels much more like a partnership.
It is. And demonstrating true partnership also means thinking ahead for them, even on things they aren't necessarily paying you for yet.
Like what?
Like using Apify again, this time to track external changes. Maybe new industry regulations pop up, like specific compliance requirements for their sector. The system flags it.
And then?
Then it auto-notifies only the clients potentially affected. A simple message. Hey, we noticed this new regulation impacting their industry. Just wanted to make you aware. Here's a quick rundown.
Wow, okay. That positions you as a knowledgeable advisor, not just waiting for the next support ticket.
Exactly. It screams, we're looking out for your business, not we're waiting for you to break something so we can invoice you. And for top-tier VIP clients, they even automated things like scheduling quarterly check-in calls, using AI-powered calendar tools to make sure those really high-touch relationships stay strong without anything falling through the cracks.
Okay, let's wrap this playbook up. If you
Yeah.
had to summarize the immediate next steps someone should take based on this, what would they be?
Sure. 4 core actions, really, all built on this integrated system. 1, automate those personalized follow-ups using Make.com and Notion. 2, launch a proper, structured referral program with incentives, triggered by positive sentiment.
Right.
3, build that client sentiment dashboard in Notion using AI analysis to know your promoters. And 4, develop those proactive, value-add email sequences personalized based on client history.
And the impact? What kind of results did they actually see, or would someone expect?
The feedback was pretty consistent in similar setups. You're looking at a significant time saving on admin, easily 30 to 50% reduction in the hours spent on manual tracking, emailing, follow-up. That's huge.
Frees up a lot of time.
A lot. And critically, that translated into a measurable uptick in repeat business and actual referrals, somewhere in the 5 to 10% range, typically. Because suddenly there was a consistent, targeted process actually driving it.
That 30–50% time saving really is the game changer, isn't it? It's not just efficiency, it allows for focus on growth.
Absolutely. The big shift is getting sustainable, scalable processes. Systems that don't rely on someone's memory or heroic manual effort. You're basically installing a permanent engine that turns happy clients into reliable revenue automatically.
Yeah, it seems that the core insight here is that automation isn't just about doing things faster. It's about making things like consistency and even genuine personalization actually scalable.
That's it. The right tech stack, your Notion hub, Make.com triggering actions, AI providing intelligence, lets you have both high touch and high volume. You don't have to choose anymore.
Okay, so here's something for you, the listener, to think about as we wrap up. If you could genuinely free up 30, maybe even 50% of your administrative time currently spent on manual follow-up, tracking, chasing things down, what would be the first high-value activity, that strategic growth initiative you've been putting off, that you would finally